What's good, y'all? This is another RMP conversation, and in this conversation, we are talking about racism.
No, we're not talking about that. We always get in trouble for that, or not trouble. We always get people who
we get dumb whiteys.
And now you've made this video something that's not. We always get people who very much don't look at the world through our lens.
Hicks from French Lick talking shit.
Yeah, but
that's a bar right there.
It isn't really. But yeah,
it was a terrible bar.
But they're gonna come into these comments because of what we're talking about anyway. So
yes,
fuck
they will.
it. Instigate them, I guess.
So today, what we're actually talking about isn't racism. We're talking about the possibility of there being a black Magneto and a black Professor X in the live-action X-Men series or movies that may come out for the MCU.
They were talking about having the actor who played Gus on Breaking Bad. I can't think of his full name being Magneto.
Yes, and No. He was gonna be Professor X.
I've seen him as Magneto. I haven't seen him as Professor X.
They was gonna have Denzel Washington be Magneto.
I've seen those flipped.
I've seen them the opposite way, brother.
I've seen it flip because he's like.
Well, I see Denzel like more as Magneto anyway.
That doesn't even make sense. Like overall,
it doesn't. Why not?
At least in terms of the people they play. Don't get me wrong.
Y'all be playing basketball.
Denzel Washington plays a good villain, and he plays also a good character who's not necessarily evil, but just has bad qualities, which would fit a Magneto. Giancarlo Esposito, yeah,
there we go. Giancarlo Esposito.
But he plays better villains. It wouldn't make sense It wouldn't make sense for him. Like out of the two, in terms of Denzel could be a better actor, have a more well-rounded acting career, have better whatever. But in terms of playing a villain, Giancarlo has that shit down.
Yeah, he's got it locked
in all different ways. And then playing a likable villain. That's the thing that makes Magneto is that he's a likable villain.
And Denzel ain't as in good shape. I think he needs to sit down.
Yeah,
he can't be. Professor X is sitting down. Not saying Denzel can't get in shape, but I don't think he wants to.
Even then, Denzel played characters who were likable that turned out to be villains, which is like
could be Professor X.
In Training Day, his character was cool. Like people liked his character until it showed how
niggas was playing basketball at Guantanamo
Frank
Bay.
Lucas, his character was cool until he really showed how nasty
niggas knew Frank Lucas.
But they liked Frank until they showed like the things that made Frank.
Yeah, that's fair.
It was like, oh, he's a pillar of the community, and then he shoots a dude in broad daylight.
Well, he shouldn't have disrespected him.
Yeah, there we go.
But my opinion, Rick, on the situation,
they shouldn't do it.
They should not do it.
It doesn't make any sense to do it.
It doesn't make sense to do it. A big part of Magneto's backstory is him being a Jewish man
through the Holocaust.
He lived through the Holocaust. Taking that away would kind of take away from it. I guess you could play into being a black man in America, but like we have other characters to do that with, so you don't really have to use him for that. Or you could make a new character.
Well, they were saying, at least what I've seen for the Giancarlo is that they were talking about because they were all different types of hairs. They have all different types of Jewish people who were taken during the Holocaust. Not every Jewish person looked the same. And so there were dark-skinned Jewish people.
I didn't know that.
There were Jewish people who looked like me and you. There were Spanish ones. Judaism is a religion that does have roots in lineage, but it's not always. And even then, that lineage is allowed to deviate, but then still hold
something crazy.
the religious significance of it. So the idea of him being Jewish would still be a possibility. This is my only thing, right? The idea of the X-Men does show parallels. Even Stan Lee said this once he made the story. I don't think he made the story with it, like in his brain, like in the forethought. Right? Yeah, I think from what he said, he made the story, and then as he was fleshing it out and everything, people were like, "Oh, this holds similarities to this," and then he was like, "It does," and then he kind of like went with it, and then it was like, "This makes a whole lot of sense. It is paralleling like what we're seeing in the world at the time." And there's no reason not to lean into that because this is a story that seems to be all of time. There's a situation like this.
Right. My
only thing is that the parallel is so strong that it doesn't. I don't think it really matters what race Professor X or Magneto is. Magneto probably a little bit more because, like you said, his origin being the Holocaust, going through some type of persecution beforehand,
right?
Which there's
to give him motivation.
There's loads of historical events that persecution could happen from to change Magneto's origin to fit that version of Magneto without changing how it affected him. Like
that's fair.
Humans have been doing nasty stuff their whole lives, so that's not anything to like really like think about. But I just feel like it would be a switch that would only really anger people, which those people that it would anger, I don't really care about what they think. But it just feels like unnecessary. It would feel like an unnecessary change. And then they could create another character, I guess. Not specifically for Denzel and Giancarlo to play, but just if they wanted to have more
diversity,
diverse characters, create more of them, even though they'll get called tokens or like the only reason they exist is because it's so weird. And this is where I'll get off of it very quickly because this conversation could go in circles. Changing a character's origin is either, in our case, talking about this situation, blackwashing and or tokenizing them because now they're changed from their original ethnicity and or their sexuality, any of those things, right? But then if you create a new character, specifically, or not even specifically, who so happens to be a diverse character, now you're pandering and or you're creating a token. You're tokenizing this universe by creating this character who doesn't exist because they're minorities. Because
if you're not white, straight, and cisgender, who gives a fuck?
Yeah,
that's why. That's exactly
and so
why.
This is the best.
And sometimes, if you're not white, cisgender, and a man, no one gives a fuck.
And then this is the last point. I'll get onto it before we talk about like the original point of this. Is there was a situation about there was a group called Black Gamer Girls, right? I don't know if you heard about this. Okay. There's a whole group. They created a whole group. It was black girls joining this group, you know, having a community, all liking the same thing or similar things, being groups within this little group, right? There were some people who weren't black women who wanted to join, right? They weren't against this, but it was strange. No, yeah, that's funny. They weren't against it. Shout out that video. Did great. 100K views.
Did wonderful.
100K views, like 70-something thousand likes. 17-something thousand likes. So it did great.
Shout out Sketch, man.
But so they created a space. Other people wanted to join it, and they were like, we're not against that. It's a little strange that you want to join this specific group named Black Gamer Girls, but sure. But then they started to come in and make the space feel uncomfortable for the people who created the space in the first place. So they were like, well, if you're going to come in here and make it weird, then we would like to actually leave. And they were like, well, if you guys did this, like if we did this to you guys, it'd be a problem. But then, but that made me think, right?
Well, you can't call a group the whites of gaming.
No, this is the thing. This is the thing. They can, but it's like they created a parody group over this situation. They created a white boy gamer group. Right?
But that's funny.
But it was that's the thing. It's a parody. And then so it was like, if you really want a space for you and people like you to exist, why not make it real? Why not make a real white boy gaming group? And then that's when it really dawned on me.
Being white boy
that's gaming, when it dawned on me. And when another creator was talking about the situation, it dawned on me. It was like, if we were in their space and we made it uncomfortable for them, they would tell us, why do you have to do this? Why can't you make your own space? We go and make our own space.
Then they want to join
and then they want to join our space, make it uncomfortable,
because
weird.
We're cool.
And then we tell them, why can't you make your own space? And then they hit us with well, if we did that to you, it'd be a problem. Even though it's kind of like a big circle. When I just came to this stark conclusion. They don't care about their space being invaded. They don't care about us making our own space. They would just like us to be quiet. They would just like us to not exist
and shut the fuck
in their realm at all.
Yeah.
No matter if we were in our place all the way in the corner, not bothering them, or right next to them in their ear. It doesn't matter. It's the fact that they see us and they hear us that bothers them. So there's no great outcome.
It's the epitome of the rich folk having a quiet, chill little get together, and then the hood niggas is having a big ass party down the street. Yeah. It has nothing to do. It's not affecting the other party at all.
But the fact that it exists.
But the fact that it exists, we're gonna call the police, and some are even gonna migrate over to join the party.
Yeah.
Why?
It doesn't make sense to me.
Other people like black culture and the things that we do. They don't like us.
Yeah.
And that's just the bottom line. And which is piggybacks into my next point. Another reason why I think they shouldn't make Professor X and Magneto black men or men of color and just keep them the way they are is because I don't want to fucking hear it. I just don't want to hear, oh my God, Magneto isn't black, Professor X isn't black.
You're blackwashing him.
You're blackwashing him. These don't need to have, these neighbors don't need to have
It was
my favorite characters. You see what they did to Ariel?
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, I
Yeah.
do not want to hear it. So please,
when we made the
don't change them.
when
please.
we made the clip talking about like would the Spider-Verse movie have been a success if it was just a standalone Miles Morales movie, not dealing with the Spider-Verse, but it was made by the same people, like all the same
it was
work
just
and
about
everything.
Miles,
It was just about Miles. We put a clip of that out. First comment we got is Spider-Man is white. Stop blackwashing him. And I was just like, Spider-Man is whoever's under. I was like, Spider-Man's red and blue. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's a fact.
Look at that goddamn costume. And even past that, usually this is him. I guess this was him being super honest, which I can appreciate because it wasn't him being like Spider-Man's always Peter Parker. So like, shut up. It was him saying Spider-Man is white. So it's like, you know, he doesn't care about Kane being Spider-Man, which is a Peter clone. He doesn't care about Ben Reilly being Spider-Man, which is a Peter clone. Doesn't care about Jessica Drew being Spider-Woman, Peter clone. Like, he doesn't care about the iteration of different Spider-Man. It was just the fact that Spider-Man wasn't white, which has no bearing on, literally has no bearing on Spider-Man character, because once he has that suit on, you don't know what he is. This whole
part of
thing.
the reason why he wears the mask.
Literally, there's a panel. You can throw the panel here where he's in court. And J. Jonah Jameson is like, he's having a back and forth with him. And he tells J. Jonah Jameson, he's like, you only treat me like this because I'm black. And everybody was like, and then J. Jonah was like, no, I didn't know, I swear. And he was like, I'm kidding. Because nobody knows who Spider-Man is, what he looks like. Like, they don't know.
In the No Way Home shit, Jamie Foxx was sitting there and Peter 3 took his mask off. He said, damn, I always thought you was black under there. He's like, you live in the hood.
Yeah.
You fight crime. You help poor people.
Yeah.
He's like, damn, there's got to be a black Spider-Man out there
Yeah, that was
somewhere.
the joke for Miles. But there's never been a moment in Spider-Man where it was like, damn, he needs to be white. Like, there's characters where their race matters. It's like Wakanda matters because it's an ancient hidden civilization in Africa. So would it make sense for Black Panther to be black, or to not be black, even though there's a white Panther, which was an adopted child that they found who was white, who grew up as T'Challa's brother but couldn't success the
understand
throne
the outrage because that's fucking stupid.
Because the child, no, actually his story arc isn't bad because
arc is, but like I'm saying,
the idea that
stupid.
The idea that character is
We
only
didn't go
stupid
crazy
because
over
people were like, "What if we did that?" But it happened though, so it's
Right.
like if it happened
And
there,
again,
you can't
that's
be mad
comics.
anywhere else.
It's
Yeah.
made up shit.
Yeah. Think Iron Fist. It was a white kid who got dropped in an Asian civilization who was chosen as the chosen one.
Danny Rand. And let me say this real quick, and this is gonna ruffle a lot of feathers. Zoom in on me real quick, Steve, if you can, and hopefully your computer doesn't blow up. Spider-Man at base, Peter Parker at base, really should just be a black man. His parents abandoned him.
No, we're not doing
He's
that.
poor.
We're not doing that.
He lived with his old ass auntie,
we're
who's
not
basically
doing-
his
we're not doing
grandmother.
this. We're not
His
doing this.
uncle got shot
We're not doing this. None of
in
those.
the hood.
No.
By a nigga robbing somebody.
He wasn't in the hood.
They live in the hood. He lives in the hood.
You know, this is super satire, but they're not gonna understand that this is satire.
I'm serious.
You're not serious.
I'm
Steve,
serious.
look at me in the eyes and say you're not serious because I'm gonna get pissed off at the video. Steve, look at me in the eyes and tell me you're not serious.
I'm not serious.
There we go. No, because they're gonna piss me off, and then you're gonna piss me off. He's not serious,
And I'm not gonna respond to the comments.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Hey, I stopped listening to y'all months ago. Rick,
what I'm
I only
saying.
respond to the nice one.
That's what I'm saying.
You know it's me when I say, shut up or I put my belly on your mama back.
That's the only time
how
it's
you know
Steve.
it's me.
But yeah, he's being super satirical, but that is how dumb y'all sound. It's like it doesn't matter. The only time it matters, like if you want a character where it matters that they're white, there's Peacemaker's dad, who's literally a super KKK member.
That can't be a black.
The White Dragon.
Well, Dave Chappelle.
he could be a Sly Cooper, I guess.
If he's blind, he never knew he was black.
Yeah. I guess it could be anybody as long as they don't take off the suit.
Yeah, don't take the suit
Don't
off.
take the suit off.
No, but Chappelle, they knew Chappelle was black, and they loved him anyway. Actually, that's a heartwarming story.
Maybe they weren't racist.
We'll see
all
you guys
along.
next time
All
on the R&B
along.
podcast.
But all in all, don't make them. We don't want to hear.
Yeah,
it.
please don't do it because I just don't want to hear
Hollywood,
it.
don't use us as a stepping stool for whatever agenda you're trying to cross. And then
No.
all the other comic goers who don't really I guess, absorb all the teachings that comics have given you over the years. Don't even bother typing in the comments. I'm gonna start deleting y'all. Matter of fact, no, because that's even worth more
No,
of
because
effort.
that helps our
send the comments
algorithm
up.
too.
I'm gonna just it helps us because we still got that interaction. It still counts towards our talent.
even if you
and if
delete
we
it?
delete them, they'll come back and be like, "Look, they deleted
Leave
our
my comment."
And guess
Then
what?
we can make a
Double-
TikTok about it.
No, not even that.
Ah!
That's a double interaction.
Yeah,
it
it
counts
is.
both count in the tally.
Oh.
But this is another RMP conversation. We hope you guys stuck around, and if you liked it, please drop a subscription down below. They're absolutely 100 positively free.
We almost at 1K. Help us out, man.
Yeah. And also follow us on all of our other social media: Instagram, TikTok. TikTok might not be around, but they haven't done anything about it yet. So fuck them niggas. But yeah, follow
Deletes
us.
the shit tomorrow.
Well, I can't do anything about that. But follow us on everything.
Follow us on Blip.
that skit isn't out yet. And make sure that you hit that bell or something so you know when we drop a video.
I love you
You don't
guys.
have to if you don't want to.
Mwah.
He's being weird.
Yeah, you just kissed the mic crazy, right? Oh, I didn't see you kiss
That shit was all in my ear and shit.
Yeah. R&P moves, R&P groove, ayy. Yeah, I've been in the R&P mood, ayy. Oh yeah, ayy. Oh yeah, ayy. R&P moves, R&P news, ayy. Yeah, now we making R&P moves, ayy.